Welcome to the weekly market wrap-up. I'm Hannah Bernard. It was a mixed week for markets as investors pondered the impact of recent record highs and struggled to stay positive in the wake of firming oil prices. And there was some debate over Fed Chair Janet Yellen's congressional testimony. How did the week finish off? Let's find out. U.S. stocks closed at highs on Tuesday after Fed Chair Janet Yellen indicated that a rate hike would come later rather than sooner. But by Thursday, debate over the testimony cooled U.S. markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average retreated 10.15 points to close on Thursday at 18,214. The S&P 500 dropped 3.12 points on Thursday to close at 2,110, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ popped 20.75 points Thursday to close at 4,987. Now let's turn to Canadian markets, which had an up-and-down week. The Toronto Stock Exchange closed modestly higher on Thursday, up 12 points to close at 15,241, and the TSX Venture Exchange delivered a solid day on Thursday, up 1.44 points to close at 700.93. Oil continued to slide this week despite posting a significant spike on Wednesday. On Thursday, the price per barrel of WTI crude for April delivery plunged 3.82%, down $1.95 to close at $49.04. The price volatility is being driven in part by a battle between the bulls and the bears. Factors supporting the bulls and oil price increases include a massive decrease in rig counts in the U.S., capital expenditure cuts by oil exploration and production companies, buying on dips, and a decline in Liberian oil production. Factors driving the bears and oil price decreases include the growing glut of U.S. oil in the system, weak demand outlook, and of course, Saudi Arabia's lack of leadership on price controls. A massive win yesterday for those who have been fighting for net neutrality as the Federal Communications Commission voted on Thursday to regulate broadband internet service as a public utility. The new regulations prohibit the telco and cable companies, which own the pipe for the internet, from dividing it into pay-by-play fast lanes for internet and media companies who can afford it, and slow lanes for everyone else. FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler said the news would protect innovators and consumers. Companies like Netflix and Twitter were staunch supporters of the new net neutrality rules. Now to winners and losers in our picks for the week. The winner for this week is Hudson's Bay Co., ticker symbol HBC.TO. Shares in the iconic Canadian retailer surged almost 20% on Wednesday after the company announced it would join two real estate joint ventures that will bring in about 1.1 billion Canadian in cash from the transactions over time. HBC is joining with Toronto-based RioCan and Indianapolis-based Simon Property Group. Market analysts say HBC has very attractive real estate and the move will unlock captured value. The loser for this week is Lumber Liquidators Holdings, Inc., ticker symbol LL. Shares in the hardwood flooring retailer plunged more than 26% on Wednesday after the company reported a big earnings miss and hinted at more negative news in the future. CEO Rob Lynch this week warned investors that an upcoming 60 Minutes episode will feature the company in an unfavorable light with regard to laminate sourcing and product quality. Well, those are our winners and losers for this week, and now it's time to check in on the gains that you could have locked in by following the weekly watch list from Robert James and Viral Stocks. That's enough about this week. Now let's turn to Baystreet.ca's look at the week ahead and the snapshot of what analysts are forecasting for companies whose earnings reports are coming out next week. Here are 3 U.S. stocks to watch. First up on Tuesday is Smith & Wesson Holding Corp. With an EPS forecast of 12 cents compared to 35 cents in the prior year quarter. Next up on Thursday is Diamond Foods Inc. with an EPS forecast of 23 cents compared to 9 cents in the prior year quarter. Diamond announced it is buying the majority control of Yellow Chips, which sells a line of organic potato chip products and will operate as an independent subsidiary. Finally, on Friday is Staples Inc. with an EPS forecast of 30 cents compared to 33 cents in the prior year quarter. And now here are 3 Canadian stocks to watch next week. First up on Tuesday is the Bank of Nova Scotia with an EPS forecast of $1.34 compared to $1.38 in the prior quarter. Next up on Thursday is SNC-Lavalin Group Inc. with an EPS forecast for a loss of 78 cents compared to a gain of 61 cents in the prior quarter. SNC officials pleaded not guilty last week to fraud charges involving alleged activities of former employees from over 3 years ago in Libya. Finally, on Thursday is Canadian Natural Resources Limited with an EPS forecast of 67 cents compared to 52 cents in the prior year quarter. And that wraps it up. Thanks again so much for joining us for another weekly market wrap-up. Before you head out for the weekend, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or podcast on iTunes and find us on Facebook and on Twitter. For Val Network News and Baystreet.ca, I'm Hannah Bernard.